Hello, everyone, and welcome back to a brand new episode of Jess Talks About. Oh my god, I can't even say the name of my show. Jess Talks About Stuff with your host, Jess. Um, I always like talking about things that, could affect everyone, and that could somehow matter to most people because, if I want to talk about something else, I usually label it as a ramble or something like that. But today's topic is something that I see a lot of people like say, and it's that they suck at cooking. And this episode is all about why you don't suck at cooking and why you should stop saying that. Everyone can cook. That's just basically everyone can do that. It doesn't mean that everyone can do it at the top of their head, that everybody knows a whole ass recipe just like that. That's just like, any other subject. You got to learn the recipe, do it, multiple times, and you'll be able to do it on the top of your head. And maybe at some point, have your own proportions and whatnot. But really, all about cooking needs recipes. Like, if you don't have recipes, then whatever you're going to make might have weird proportions or it might not be enough. Like, it's really simple. The only hard part is learning the timing and basically having the right tools as well. I mean, you don't need expensive tools to cook, but it's also, I think the moment you just look up a recipe and you have your tools and everything and all your ingredients and patient, you can really make amazing things. I don't know why people say they can't, but you can. It's not hard because I think I suck at cooking, but every time I had a recipe next to me, I made something good and I was like, wait a second, I just suck at remembering recipes because I never taught myself one. And that's perfectly fine. And you can also be clumsy or really bad at like knowing whether something's cooked or not. But these are all things that you learn. I mean, you learn to use your fucking phone, right? You learn how to fucking walk. Why couldn't you be able to learn how to cook? And I mean, obviously, you also need to be aware when something can go terribly wrong. So also look up about things that you shouldn't do. Now, when you're gonna start cooking, don't expect to be cooking giant ass meals out of nowhere. Don't even try cooking very big meals. Try finding recipes and cutting them in half so you waste less, products and everything. So you can really try out different things and experiment. First cook a few times for yourself, then maybe invite someone over for a taste test or I don't know, give it to your neighbor. What are they gonna do? Like trash talk you? Who cares? It's just a neighbor. But no, like start with things that are simple. And by cooking, I don't mean baking. Baking is something totally different. In baking, you do really need to have the right proportions and measure everything out because it's not like cooking where you can just like, sprinkle in some shit or whatnot. I mean, yeah, you could do that, but it really depends on what part of the process you're in. Now, a few easy things that we all think are like, oh, that's not cooking, like, is things like eggs, cooking spaghetti and stuff like that. Those are really simple things. And some of us are like, yeah, but everyone can do that. So I'm like, you already know a part of cooking, right? You could already make yourself some, I don't know, some fucking ramen if you wish to. And I'm not talking about the instant one. Like literally, get some nice noodles, make a broth and that kind of stuff. Add whatever you want, make it your own. Cooking doesn't have to be hard. That's the whole thing that I'm saying here. You don't have to, get the most expensive ingredients, the best tools. Just find what works for you and start from there. For me, I really liked eggs, scrambled at least. And I thought, how can I incorporate that into things? And one of my friends once actually just like cooked some pasta, added some cheese, some egg, and some ham. And it was really good pasta. It's like really simple. So if you really just want to like try out the simplest thing, start with pasta. Can't really fuck up pasta too bad. And even if you do, that's perfectly fine. Everybody makes mistakes. Everybody overcooks. Everybody undercooks. Everybody eats pasta every once in a while. And they're like, oh, it's a little hard. That's fine. That happens. Don't be mad at yourself. I mean, the very first time you rode your bike, you weren't exactly gonna stay on those two wheels forever. You needed either training wheels or you fell flat on your face a few fucking times. Same with cooking. Now, obviously, I definitely think that there's also a lot of people who are just lazy. Nothing wrong with that. Me too. And I mean, I don't really have a responsibility to cook yet since my mom does that. But sometimes I do like the idea of cooking, and the moment that I'll be having somewhat of my own income, partially because of my internship, I might be like, yo, I want to cook a bit because, if I'm going to ask her to get specific ingredients, she's going to be like, yeah, for what? Like, you're going to cook blah, 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 blah. So I definitely am going to try to cook more because it's also fun. You can put in a lot of fucking things in there and make it your own. If you're cooking for people, it's a bit more stressful, I'm not gonna lie. But I always say start small, start with something simple, and build your way up from that. You don't need to be making creme brulees, come on. Now, the next thing is getting the right tools, measuring cups, pans, and knives. This is so important. And I mean, don't get yourself like the most expensive shit in the world. Don't do that. That's useless because you're a starter anyways. But start with things like a whisk, like a spatula, getting enough like wooden spoons and stuff. So if you mess something up or you fuck up something, just have two. Just like make sure you have enough. My mom has a whole fucking like cylinder, metal cylinder just filled with these tools. And most of them are double, but I mean, sometimes she uses two. Sometimes she has to flip two fucking things at the same time. It'd be like that. Now, measuring cups are also very important. A lot of recipes will ask you to, well, it depends. You have obviously your metric recipes and the imperial ones. So I'm talking about like milliliters and gallons, what the fuck not. That depends on your recipe. So just get the right measuring cups. If you don't want to translate entire American recipes, maybe as a European, get some American measuring cups. I have no idea. Maybe that's fun. The next thing is pans. Get yourself some non-stick pans. If you feel like you can trust yourself with a skillet, then do that. Like a cast iron as well. Like just if you feel like you can really take care of your pans and, at some point you feel a bit better, like get yourself some, like I said, a cast iron pan, which you have to season and whatnot and put in an oven, but it really results in some great cooking experiences that you're gonna have. You just gotta put a little more care into it. So convenience is a bit less, but the results are great. Knives. I don't know how many times I see people buying cheap ass knives, and I mean dollar store knives, and calling it a day. Try investing a bit more money into your knives and a sharpening block. Now, if you're really curious into knives and stuff, go look online for some whetstone tutorials and when to sharpen your knife. And don't always get the most expensive shit that they propose to you in the video. Look online on forums. What do people recommend the most? Like, what type of knife do you need? What kind of things are you gonna make? But always also have enough knives. It's very important. And I'm not also talking about the knives at your dinner, at the dinner table. I'm talking about the knives, you use to chop stuff. Because there is a lot of difference between them. Some are better for vegetables and some are better for meat. Now, the next thing I really want to touch upon is that some people just have a talent for cooking. Just like some people are really good at math. I mean, everyone could do it, right? But not everyone is as good at it, but they can at least do the basics. It's the same with running. Everyone can run, but it doesn't mean you have to run like Usain Bolt, Same with cooking. You don't have to be an amazing cook. For fuck's sake, I once went over to someone's family and they just grabbed some fucking pots and cans with vegetables and threw them into a pan and called that cooking. I mean, for everyone, that's a different thing. Like in my home, it's seasoning, marinating, make sure the potatoes are salted enough, letting them cook properly, making little salads to go with it. It's different for everyone. And it's also down to preference. If you like your meal simple, you don't like adding anything, then that's perfectly fine. I mean, I obviously like my seasoning, so it's different to everyone. But, some people are just, they naturally know how to do it. They just already know how to add flavors. They have a really good feeling for it. But it doesn't mean that you are going to be like that too. It's just the way it is. You got to practice. You can be like that too, or you can at least get close to that. It's just like, everyone could have a certain talent, but some people are just kind of like naturally already like very trained in that. So you're just going to have to work harder to get there. And that just kind of concludes what I wanted to say. Like, it's really all about you, what you want, what you like. Also look up on the internet, like ways to cook the things that you usually hate into more delicious forms, because I have realized how awesome that is, since I usually hate Brussels sprouts, but my mom somehow transforms them into something edible. So yeah, really experiment. Food is, yeah, I don't know. I always liked comparing cooking to science. Just got to try out different things. Some things just don't work at all. Some things are very dangerous if you do that. So I hope that whoever listened to this just, had a little bit of a feeling of like, hey, yeah, let me buy some pots and pans and go cook a little. I hope y'all have a great day. Lots of love from me, and have fun cooking and creating. Bye-bye.